Hello, everybody. It is me, Marquise G. And if this is your first time seeing my face, I am so humble and grateful to have you here on this channel watching my video. This is episode 3 of G's Gems. And today we are talking about community and who you support. All right. What am I talking about? So I have Tyrus here. Tyrus, say hi to the people. Hi. And you know, like we said, the past 2 episodes, we just met in February. And the community that we met through, honestly, we all just kind of met each other this year, kind of end of 2021, early 2022. But the amount of work, the amount of support that we've been able to provide to one another, not just from one another individually, but also from our networks as well, is absolutely insane. Like, would you say that to like, have you seen a large growth in your business since you joined?
100%. I remember the first time I met everybody. It was like, I think we was at the mastermind, and Ryan was talking. Then Murdoch was like, everybody pause your phones and follow the brands. And that was just like 10 followers, just like in a matter of seconds.
Right.
So that's just a small level of how big the community has been.
Exactly. And since then, like, I done seen Tyrus all out in the streets. Tyrus be at all the vendor fairs. He be out interviewing people. Again, make sure y'all check out Everybody Somebody. I remember to wear my sweatshirt next time because they're fire. Hopefully the fall colors are coming soon.
See, it's in the working.
We're working on it. Okay. Anyways, but back to the community piece. And okay, let me go back and break that down because I don't want y'all to think we in a cult or something. We are not in a cult. So basically, there is, for all of my indie people from everyone, so we're in Indianapolis, and there is a local community group for career professionals, entrepreneurs, anybody just trying to level up in their life, led by the incredible Anthony Murdoch II. And essentially, the group started late 2021, early this year, and Murdoch asked myself and 3 of my colleagues to be hosts for the group. Now, mind you, when he asked me to be a host for this group, G4 existed, but I hadn't really done anything with the brand at that time. Me and Murdoch had started to build our relationship, and Murdoch was like one of those people on my bucket list of people to work with. So the fact that I work with him in the capacity that I do now is literally mind blowing to me. But when he reached out to me to be a host, I was like, are you sure? Like, you ain't seen nothing? Like, I haven't proved myself, like nothing. And he was just like, yeah, I want you to be a part. And I really didn't know the other 3 hosts at that time. So I was a little nervous about that because I was like, ooh, are we all gonna get along? And then just not, one thing you have to learn about, or at least I've learned with certain people that are visionaries especially, is sometimes you just gotta be quiet and just watch. And Murdoch is one of those people where you just kind of gotta be quiet and watch and just go along on the ride and figure it out and see what happens, because he has so much that he wants to do and so much that he is doing all the time, then sometimes it might not make sense, especially if you haven't been tapped into his businesses for a while. And even being tapped in with the businesses, sometimes just like, dang, something else? Like, what is this? How does this work, you know? But when it gets to the end result, you're like, oh, okay, now I see. But a lot of people miss out on that because they're so skeptical because they don't support, right? So essentially, he started this community for people who were just trying to grow their brands, their businesses, and communities. And it's just been growing exponentially over, the past 8 or 9 months. And that's essentially where a lot of my, network now, a lot of the people that I work with, that I'm friends with, that's where we met. And so being a part of that group made me realize that finding genuine support, not even just for your business, but just as a person, like just as an individual, finding people that can understand where you are at in life when you're trying to grow and elevate and all these things, is not as hard as people make it seem. And especially in the culture that we're in of, oh, I can do everything by myself and I don't need people and solo dolo this and da-da-da-da-da. It makes you have a totally different perspective. I was never really one of those people because I teach networking, so I understood the value of having people that can support you and uplift you and all that stuff. But when that's something that's constantly in your face, sometimes you can, be blinded to all these other things. So when I joined that community and just saw just literally instantly how quick everybody was willing to make friends and support and all these different things, it was just like mind-blowing to me. And so it really made me realize that, one, a lot of people, and if you haven't checked out episode 2, make sure you go back to episode 2, specifically like the last 15, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But we talked a lot about fear in that episode. And what I realized from this community is that a lot of people don't step out of their comfort zones based off of, one, fear, and two, also not being able to admit what they don't know, you know? And so there's so much, like, even though I consider myself, you know, a thought leader in my own right, being around so many other people who think provocatively and are so, you know, in tune intellectually and have so much to contribute and offer to expand your mind, to expand your business, all these different things. Like, a lot of the times, like, I'm a host and I end almost every session. Sometimes I just go in there and I just be sitting, watching and listening, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I didn't think about that. Or that's a new perspective, or all these different things. Like, I'm genuinely amazed. And we meet every Tuesday. Again, all the links and all this stuff will be in the description. But every Tuesday, I look forward to every Tuesday. Genuinely, I look forward to every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. I look forward to it because I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to walk out of that room with something, whether it's motivation, whether it's encouragement, whether it's somebody uplifting me, whether it's a new piece of knowledge to add to my life. I'm going to walk out of there with something. And so I look a lot at social media, and I've never been a person I don't really like particularly follow anybody like that where I'm like, ooh, I'm a super fan. Besides, and y'all gonna slander me for this, and I already know it, but I'm okay. I stick beside it. I stuck beside it for years. Kardashians. I know. Y'all gonna slander me. It's okay. But those are the only people I follow because from a business perspective, you cannot doubt the model that they have built. Like, they are a machine like no other. I always say, like, my goal with G4 Unlimited is to be like Kim, how she's always like dropping something all the time, whether it's a product, whether it's the show, whether it's a new partnership. Like, she's always dropping something, and it's innovative in how like the partnership she did with Beats, that blew my freaking mind. Like, who would ever think that would be a thing? And it just made me, it goes back to what I say all the time. We have to stretch how far our creativity and innovation goes. Even being creative and innovative, there's always a cap that we put on that. And so looking at her, it always just makes me think about how much further things can go. That's enough about that. Anyways, I look at social media and I don't really follow too many people in particular like that. You know, I'm not a super fan. Like, if you ask me who's your favorite artist, it would change depending on what song I like at that time. Except 2 Chainz. I do love 2 Chainz. Oh my God, I love 2 Chainz. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Anyways, any Hoosier. Other than that, I'm not really like too much in love with any particular person or anything like that. I just really love to be like inspired and motivated by how people move and how they work and how they grow. And so, but when I look at how people, you know, repost, you know, something from Drake or something from Cardi B or whatever the case may be, unless it's Oprah, I'm like, all right, you know, like, okay, it is what it is. But when I see things like that, or people all in the comments, or, you know, oh my God, like, that's my sis and da-da-da-da-da, it just blows my freaking mind. And one of the things, like, I've been doing a lot lately, I used to be really heavy into YouTube, and then just I got so busy, I kind of stopped watching a lot of stuff in general. But I'm kind of getting back into watching some stuff on YouTube. And of course, everybody's watching Carisha Please, Young Miami from the City Girl. She has her own podcast now with Revolt. And at first I was a little skeptical about watching it. I'm not gonna lie, because I do kind of speak for a living almost. And I do have a journalism background. I'm very like nitpicky about certain things when it comes to like watching podcasts or hearing interviews, things like that. And I just didn't know what I was going to get out of it. And can I actually sit here and listen to this for an hour and a half? And so when the first episode came out with Diddy, and I'm also not a person, I don't like to follow the hype of things. So when everybody likes something, I'm generally the last person to see it, because I feel like everybody's hyping it up. So I'm like, let me wait for it to die down, and then I can enjoy it in peace and really decide if this is good or not. So it took me about 2 or 3 weeks after the first episode came out to actually watch that first episode of Carisha Please. And again, I wasn't really into the first episode because, of course, it's with Diddy. Like, everybody's talking about her relationship with him. So, of course, everybody's going to be all over it. But I decided she came out with episode 2 with Kevin Gates. That's when I wasn't more so impressed with her. I was more so impressed with him because I had never really heard an interview from him. I've seen all the clips and stuff like that, but I've never seen him like really sit down and have a conversation like that. Then she got to this episode then she had the episode with JT. Then it was the episode with Saweetie. That's what it was. And her and Saweetie had a very even though it was very, girl talk, all that stuff, they did have some very good talking points about some real serious things. And one of the things they talked about in that episode, and even in this previous episode I watched with Lotto, that's who it was, they just talked about the accessibility that people have to them as celebrities. And if you think about it, like way back when, like if you go back to the beginning of celebrityhood, it was very much an elite type of thing. You really could not have access to them. There was no social media or internet or anything like that. So it was very rare for you to be able to be that up and close and personal in a celebrity's life. But now we have social media. These celebrities are doing all types of stuff on social media. And then the celebrities kind of are becoming younger and younger. So before they were even like in the limelight, they were already using social media and having these platforms where a lot of people knew them. So they're just very accessible in a way to where you do kind of feel like you know them, or there are tons of celebrities out looking. I'm like, man, we would have a good time together. Like, I just know we went out, we would have a time that night, okay? But I still realize that there's a certain level of, I don't know how you want to say it. There's a certain way they have to live their life. Like, being a celebrity is still a job. Like, there's still things that they have to do. So when you just look at it like this is just their job, they got to get up and go to work every day like we do. It takes the razzle dazzle out of it. I don't know what's the word you want to use for it, but they literally just get up and go to work every day. And it's just the same as you look at someone who, if you work at, I don't know, let's just say you're an accountant. And you do the same type of work every day, or even let's say a bank teller, and this is no tea, no shade to nobody's career, but let's just say you're a bank teller and you wake up every day, you go to the bank, you drive a Kia Soul, and you just hate life. But then you look at somebody who works on Wall Street and they're driving a Tesla or whatever the car is that you desire, and they have this nice house and all this stuff. You're gonna look at them a certain type of way. Everybody always wants something that they don't have. Like, that's just always a thing. But for me, I don't look at celebrities. Of course, it would be nice to have the big homes and all that stuff, but I started to wonder to myself, what would I actually do if I had that stuff? Because if you listen to a lot of these interviews, a lot of them say, like, I did not know what to do. Once I got all this money, once I got this done, that done, I didn't know what to do with all this stuff because it's so brand new. And a lot of them, now people are getting more savvy because in general, the world has more knowledge and information about financial literacy and investing and all these different things. But a lot of them will tell you, I didn't know what the heck to do with all this money or with all this fame, or even as they grow bigger, they're like, I miss being able to go to McDonald's at midnight and not care and all these different things. Or I miss being able to just go out they have children, they have families. Like, they miss certain things, just being able to go to the amusement park or a regular park. They miss these things. So I say all that to say, we do all this idolization in support of, literally, I'll see Young Miami repost all these tweets of people saying, oh, I'm about to pour me some wine, or we about to watch Carisha Please. But then how many of those people have friends, have family with YouTube channels and podcasts and all this stuff? Are you giving them that same energy? Are you pulling up Wednesday at 7 p.m. when your cousin's little podcast drop with wine and popcorn? Are you doing the same thing? I don't think so. So I say all that to say that we have to be sure that we are supporting the people around us, because the people that we're looking to, these celebrities, they have people around them that supported them and pushed them to get to this next level. And people don't understand that. I'm a real logistics and junkie, and I love like learning about the process of things and how stuff works. So I'm always breaking stuff down to its like most fundamental core. And I know I'm talking about Carisha Please, so I'm probably gonna make a lot of young, City Girl references. But if you go back to when the City Girls, they dropped a short little docu-series around the time, like I think JT might have still been in jail or when she just got out, I can't remember. But a lot of that stuff they talk about, you know, they already had certain names in Miami already because of their families and the things that they were doing. So they already had people around them that knew them, that when they decided to step out and do something, they were supporting them. Then when they got bigger in the Miami scene, people were supporting them that lifted them on that level to become on the radar of a QC and all this stuff. So how did they get there? They got support from people who knew them in their community, in their families, their friendships, things of that nature. So imagine your friend, your cousin, your sister, your mom or your dad who's doing everything they can, staying up all times of the day and night to record podcasts, to do nails, to do hair, they're shooting content, they're making t-shirts, they're all these different things, whatever it is they're doing. Just imagine if you put half as much energy into supporting these people. Don't get me wrong, we should still support them because they still got to stay there. You know, that's still a part of them, you know, staying where they are and going even further. But imagine if you put half of that energy into the people that were around you, into what they were doing, how much further would they be able to go? What would they be able to do? Could they be the next Young Miami? Could they be the next whoever, Oprah, whoever the case may be, whoever you're looking at? All these people started from humble beginnings in some way, shape, or form. But they didn't get to where they got to without support in some way, shape, or form. So being a part of the mastermind community really made me realize that the support that you're looking for, the support that you need, is not much further than you think. But you have to get around people who aren't envious of you, who aren't jealous of you, who understand where you're going, what you're building, what you're trying to do. And also not just them supporting you, but you being able to support them. Tyrus is here right now. Like this is my dream. This is what I want to do. But because of what I want to do, I'm able to pour into what he wants to do. You see what I'm saying? So, and I talk about this a lot when I talk about networking. Networking is a fundamental element of building sustainable relationships. And building sustainable relationships is all about reciprocal value. So how someone pours into you or the value you're looking to get from somebody, you should always be giving that back in return as well. So be sure that whoever is around you now, don't get me wrong, some people's out here trying to do some things they should not be doing, okay? And you got to realize how to humble people in the most respectful way possible. But if you see somebody doing something of value and you can see where they're trying to go and you believe in them, pour into them in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't always have to be monetary. There are so many free things you could do to support a person. Sending them a supportive text message, a prayer, sending them a reference video of something like, hey, this person kind of does something similar to what you want to do. You might want to check them out. Anything like that. I'm constantly sending people different pages of stuff of, oh, this is what you want to do. Well, here's this entrepreneur that does this. Maybe you can get some tips from them. Or you said you were trying to do this. I found the process video on how to get it done. Like all these different things. There's so much stuff you can do. Sending YouTube videos. I send some of my friends sermons and people send me sermons or Bible scriptures or any type of thing that could help them just to clear up their mental space, help them in their capacity in some way, shape, or form. There's so much you can do. If you can afford to support them financially, do that. Show up to an event. If you can't show up to the event, you can still buy a ticket. That's a sponsored thing that they could give to someone who can't really afford to come, that they can be exposed to their brand or their business in some way, shape, or form. If you're a career professional, networking is huge in the career field. Being able to put them on to somebody or pushing their application forward, whatever the case may be, we need to do better at supporting the people that we know. We have to do better at supporting the people we know. Because all these people, again, all the people that we look at, these celebrities, these megastars, even the TikTokers that are going crazy, they all came from somewhere small. So imagine what you could do if you supported someone that was around you. So I just wanted to share that because community is huge to me. I'm always going to talk about networking all the time. Networking and community are everything.
You know what they say? Your network determines your net worth.
I know that's right. Your network is your net worth. That is a huge, and I'm telling y'all, again, one of these days I'm gonna go deep into the whole story of G4 and how it started, how it came to be, and all that. I touched a little bit about it in the first episode, obviously, but it's way more to it than what I said. But I literally say that all the time, and G4 would not be where it is right now if it was not for networking, if it was not for building sustainable relationships and giving that reciprocal value. It literally would not. And it's still growing and doing things I never intended it to do or thought it could do, any of that, because of the relationships that I built. And more importantly, those relationships being of value and those people actually supporting me and believing in me. And a lot of the times, I know a lot of times stuff I say is crazy. Like sometimes I don't even know where it's gonna go. I just have a thought and I'm like, ooh, let's do it. And we just gotta go like this. I said, ooh, let's do it. I have no clue what it's gonna turn out to be, but let's do it. But here we are. So find those people that support you. If nothing else, I support you. So send it to me if it's something of value. Like I said, a lot of y'all out here doing some stuff y'all need to be doing. So I'm gonna have to let you know respectfully if it ain't hitting. But if you feel like you can't find that, again, there's plenty of people out here that will support you, me being one of them. So again, make sure you leave us comments. If there's anything you want us to talk about, anything on your mind, let us know in the comments. Because again, a lot of this stuff, it just be stuff that be on my heart, on my mind, stuff I see in the world. So I just be sitting here flapping my gums a lot of the times. But we would love to have your insight and again, create that community conversation. So we can, again, we're here to empower, inspire, motivate some people to do better. If you haven't seen anything else in the past few years, you can see the power of how a local community has the power to change the entire world. So let's keep that going. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Anything that's in the description, make sure you follow all those accounts. Shout out to MELI. Again, shout out to MELI. Thanks for hosting us to be able to record and just let me talk to this microphone for a solid 20 minutes. Shout out to Tyrus. Check out Everybody Somebody. Make sure you check out Everybody Somebody. And we will see you on the next episode. Be blessed. Be fruitful.